Take a walk with me, Israel. Let's fast forward to a time when we'll know the true definition of peace, happiness, love, and prosperity. I'm talking about in the kingdom. So close your eyes and dream with me, Zion, if you will. And just vibe with me for a minute. I'm talking about New Jerusalem. You wake up feeling caked up, wearing the finest silk from Jacobs. Birds singing for your listening pleasure. No rushing to work, you earned your treasure. You stand up to a pretty view, then give prayers to the Most High for blessing you. Smile from ear to ear, cause life's so good. Never see another Hebrew in the hood. Smell that good soap from exotic flowers. You got a private waterfall for a shower. Rockefeller, Rothschild, nor King Alfred. Never seen this in a finest hour. Now fresh dressed, looking far from average. Had a butler, some in the horse and carriage. On my wife's neck like 1,000 carats. All from taking the righteous passage. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. Imagine conversations with the fam. My father's Abraham to Adam. Being told from the Most High's plan. Seeing the power in Yeshua's hands. Living in the kingdom righteously ran. Peace and harmony all throughout the land. No hate, just love for your brother, man. Hearing the praise of angels worshiping. Eating the fruits of Eden once again. Secrets and seals revealed for your learn, man. Hallelujah, can't wait for our turn, man. Our enemies eternally burning. The vision brings tears to my eyes. The evil one seeing his demise. Our obedience never compromise. All truth forever, no lies. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. Waking up in the kingdom, in my father's house. See them streets paved in gold, just the way the scriptures foretold. Most beautiful city to ever behold. No sickness and never grow old. I knew Jerusalem soon to come. Then time is done, forever begun, and will dwell with the Father and Son. All read in Revelations 21. Close your eyes and dream with me, Zion. Dream with me, Zion, if you will. Wake up, in the kingdom. Waking up, 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 waking up,
Shoulder to shoulder. Take off your backpacks. Basketball, line up. We're about to race. Hey, we are racing for a $100 bill. The winner of this race will take this. A $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability, you don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I've said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody was back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the lead that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go! If you didn't learn anything from this activity, you're a fool.
That's an old video that resurfaced. I thought it would be interesting to share that with everybody. I'm sure most of y'all may have seen that before, but the message within that is pretty self-explanatory, you know. But the weird thing about it is a lot of people tend to deny what was just revealed in that video, even our own people. It's not to make excuses or anything, but it's just the reality when you look at our people as a whole. Just because a few of our people prosper and do well, it doesn't really translate to anything for our people as a whole, you know. But I want to give our praise, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, to His Son, and to His Holy Spirit. I want to say shalom and blessings to everybody in the chat. This will be part 3 in the book of Exodus. What's going on, Brother Yash?
Yeah, shalom, man. That was interesting. That's the first time I seen that. But what I was thinking was going to happen. I said, and I bet you, I wish he would have took the time to cover why some of them didn't even bother to run. You know, I think that a lot of people you know, and those are the ones whom the world want to accuse, but these are the ones that see all of the disadvantages or all the obstacles placed in front of them, and they don't even bother. So that was the
Thought dude would have at least made him go back to the line, though.
ain't that something?
Yeah, but I guess he started it from what we call life, this thing we call life, you know.
Hmm.
Some dudes have to take 3 steps,
Yeah, really.
man. But we in the book of Exodus. We're gonna be picking it up in the 10th chapter where we left off. Um, when we left off, the Most High was using Moses to bring the plagues on Egypt. He said he made him an Elohim to Pharaoh. And he said that Aaron was his prophet. And the Most High brought many judgments on Egypt. And each time Pharaoh promised to let the people go, but the Most High was warning Moses that Pharaoh's heart would be hardened and he wouldn't let the people go. You know, he even made the bondage on our people worse than what it was. And so each time the Most High brought a judgment, a plague on Egypt, Pharaoh would tell Moses to petition the Most High to turn the plague back. Moses would do it. And then the scripture says when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart again and didn't let the people go. So each time the Most High pulled the judgment back, Pharaoh looked at that as a relief. And then he hardened his heart again and he wouldn't let the people go. And so at this point, Moses is pretty much understanding that because the Most High has told him that plenty of times, and he's seeing it, that Pharaoh is not going to let the people go. So Pharaoh insinuated that the people would sacrifice to the Most High while they were in Egypt. And Moses said, not so, because they would sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Most High. And you see the Most High constantly saying, tell Pharaoh to let my people go, that they may serve me. And so that's where we are in chapter 10. Brother Yash, you got any thoughts on that?
Um, not straight off hand. I'm just interested to see where the Most High takes us.
Sound like you had a long one, man. You know, I thought.
Not really. It was a short one. I'm just, I want to say that's it.
I can dig it. This is Exodus, the 10th chapter, verse 1. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, that I might show these my signs before him. And so we're also doing this to sort of get some insight. When the Most High said with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, we know that that means with plagues and with judgments. And we see these things happening around the world and even in this nation as well. But we know that according to Revelations 18 is how the Most High said he was going to destroy Babylon. He's judging her now. But he says, I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and of thy son's son, what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am Yahuwah. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh and said unto him, Thus said Yahuwah Elohim of the Hebrews, How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. You can't serve two masters. He says, Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. So everything the hail left behind, the locust was going to come and consume. The hail mixed with fire. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all Egypt, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day they were upon the earth unto this day. And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him, How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve Yahuwah their Elohim. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? So Egypt was already considered destroyed while they were in the process of judgment. And notice, even with this nation, you keep hearing that the system is already crashed. Everything is already down. It's just a matter of time before it fully manifests. And we already see it happening that way. But they telling him, look, Egypt is already destroyed. Don't you know that? And it says, and Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh. He said unto them, Go serve Yahuwah your Elohim. But who are they that shall go? You're asking a question he already know the answer to. Moses said, We will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds will we go, for we must hold a feast unto Yahuwah. Said, who are they that shall go with you? Moses said, everybody and everything. And he said unto them, let Yahuwah be so with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones. Look to it, for evil is before you. Then he says, not so. Go now ye that are men, and serve Yahuwah, for that ye did desire. And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. So Pharaoh said, nah, all the men can go. Moses said, everybody and everything. Pharaoh said, nah, just take all the men, and drove them out from their presence. From his presence, rather. Kicked them out. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail had left. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt. And Yahuwah brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the coast of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. So I don't know if that's talking about just the amount or the type. Either way, it says, for they covered the face of the whole earth so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field through all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against Yahweh your Elohim and against you. We heard that before. He said, now therefore forgive, I pray thee, my sin only this once, and entreat Yahweh your Elohim that he may take away from me this death only. And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. And Yahweh turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coast of Egypt. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go. Hey, Brother Yash, I think, is that the book of Jasher where it talk about when the Egyptians saw the locusts, they got glad about it and they started to collect them.
Yeah, salted them. I was trying to pull up on this computer. I'm trying to pull that document up because he sent all those. It actually, the question you say you don't know what, but in Jasher he sent like various types of locusts, not just one, but I think 3 or 4 different types. And the people did get glad and they wanted to salt them, but then he sent the wind and drove them into the sea, something like that.
Yeah. They ended up not having those. Got something happened to them, but all the locusts was gone. That's a trip right there. It says, once again, but Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go. And Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, go ye, serve Yahweh. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto Yahweh our Elohim. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not an hoof be left behind, for thereof must we take to serve Yahweh our Elohim. And we know not what we must serve. We know not with what we must serve Yahweh until we come thither. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said unto him, get thee from me. Take heed to thyself. See my face no more. For in that day thou seest my face, thou shalt die. And Moses said, thou hast spoken well. I will see thy face again no more. And Yahweh said unto Moses, yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards, he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Says, speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, Thus said Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee, and after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land, just so he could bring the ultimate plague. It's like, man, he hardened Pharaoh's heart just so he could bring this plague on him, because their heart was already wicked toward the Most High's people anyway.
You know what? I sometimes ask myself, and I wonder if this scenario, and I just ask myself, if this scenario, like what happened with Moses going before Pharaoh, I wonder if there is something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. You know, like if the Most High has someone behind the scenes declaring this thing, even to the world leaders, and you know, and we're just not, we just don't know about it.
Hey, you sound kind of muffled, Brother Yash.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. How's this? Better, or am I still muffled?
That's a little better.
Hold on. Let me do something. Let me just take this thing off. Okay. Do I sound muffled now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah. That's crazy. Anyway, I wonder if the Most High has someone behind the scenes, declaring these things to the leaders of the nations of the world, and while all these plagues are going on, something that we the people, the ordinary people, don't know about. I just sometimes wonder that. You know, I don't know. I know that we're declaring plagues, and I know that they're happening. But I wonder if the Most High has, and it's just a thought, just if he has anyone else doing it. That's all I want to say.
You know, I had that thought as well. I mean, it's not anything they would put in the forefront, of course, you know, but I had that thought as well. Who knows? But that would be a interesting thing, you know. You have all these different coalitions being formed for reparations and all these different things. So who knows, man? That's something interesting, though, something to think about. We in chapter 12. So the Most High is getting ready to bring the ultimate plague down on Pharaoh and on Egypt. He said, when I do this, just know for sure that he will let you go after this one. It says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. When I first read this verse, I thought this was interesting because they had been in Egypt. You know, they lived well and prospered for a time, and then affliction was brought on them for a time. But in any case, they lived in Egypt. Egypt had a system. Egypt was, you know, a great kingdom during that time. And moving forward from that time, you know, I think they had rulerships during the Greek era, but Egypt had a system. They had, you know, a whole way of life, but yet the Most High is telling them, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
You know, like if they were celebrating Christmas back then, because you know in Jeremiah, when our people was going down into Egypt, when he warned them, and then he said, "Learn not the way of the heathen, where they make you vain. For one goes into the forest, cutteth down a tree, deck it with silver and gold." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So wonder if this Julian calendar, what they call it and attributed to the Romans, is actually the original Egypt calendar. Just wondering.
Yeah, I think the Egyptian calendar, I heard somebody say that it had 10-day weeks. The Roman calendar during Mashiach's time had 8-day weeks. So 8-day weeks and 10 months a year, the Roman calendar during Mashiach's time. But the Jews kept their own customs during that time also. But verse 2 in chapter 12, you know, interesting. It says, speak you unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. All right. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the children of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper door posts of their houses, wherein they shall eat it. So we see that according to this custom right here, these instructions that the Most High is giving Moses, this is the order in which Mashiach was crucified. He was crucified according to this law. Because it was the high priests, Levites that delivered him up. And the whole congregation stood as he was crucified. But according to this, we see that the custom was fulfilled. It says, and they shall take of the blood and strike it, the 2 side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night roast with fire, and unleavened bread with bitter herbs, they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. Against all the Elohim of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahuwah. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses wherein ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So when he said, when those high priests said his blood be on us and on our children, you know, that was a good thing in a way, although they meant it for evil. Because he said, even in this time, he was going to judge all the nations, but he was going to have mercy on his people. And he was going to atone for our people. But it says, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yahuwah throughout your generations. And ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations, by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. So it said, in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. It says, in 20, ye shall eat nothing leavened, in all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel on the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. For Yahuwah will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, Yahuwah will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. So it says, when he seeth the blood upon the lintel, it says, Yahuwah will pass over the door. and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass when ye be come to the land which Yahweh will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away and did as Yahweh had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. It says, and Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go. Serve Yahweh as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses. And they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. Okay, that confirms that part we talked about yesterday, where it said they borrowed from their neighbor and they spoiled the Egyptians. So it says they borrowed from the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And Yahweh gave the poor, the people, favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Sukkot, about 600,000 on foot that were men, beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt and Canaan was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of Yahweh went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto Yahweh for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is that night of Yahweh to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. And Yahweh said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. It says, there shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. For a foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One Torah shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as Yahuwah commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that Yahuwah did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. It says, and when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One Torah shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. So these are the strangers that cleave to Israel.
But did he say the stranger was servants that you had to purchase with money?
Yep. Yep. Right down here.
Mm-hmm. And no fun. See, because we just we don't even have an idea of who the strangers are. We're just making anyone strangers.
Right.
You know? Yet we can't have none right now because we don't have, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We don't have it yet. But yet there still will be strangers that will sojourn with us. But like you said, but that's when we got to go back to Baruch when he said it with the nations that had not known.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Guess the stranger in our case would be those who the Most High spare.
Right. Right. And those who probably coming up and giving us giving us of their riches. But I don't know. But I do know he said you got to be purchased with money.
Yep. That's the stipulation.
That's
It's
the
a foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. Well, let me go up. It says, there shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money. When thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. So that, I guess that, that explains it. But that's still in regards to who the Most High spares, according to prophecy.
Because he said not even a hired servant. So you his boss. He don't even qualify.
Mm-hmm.
It's a literal servant, slave.
Bought for money.
Mm-hmm.
Think
or
that
you gotta
Joy,
allow yourself, or you gotta allow yourself where it says they should take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You gotta allow yourself to be captured.
Isaiah 55:1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. He that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. And it says, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. Buy the truth and sell it not. Amen. Think about that, Brother Yash.
Interesting. Very, very heavy, you know what I mean? Because you got a lot of that going on too.
Yeah.
But and we make excuses. So like I was saying last night, we're even though we're striving and our eyes is opened and we're seeking the Most High and we're trying to keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, we still a long ways off. What'd he say? About the prodigal son. He said, and when he was a long way off, his father beheld him, ran to him, and kissed him in the cheek. See, we are a long ways off as a nation, as a people. And we don't even know that the Father is running towards us, ready to embrace us. You know, we too busy putting ourselves over one another. We have a problem, you know.
Yeah. I guess for those that's doing that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But that's how we got to look at each other, you know, rather than always being on a defensive. Everything that pops up is a distraction or something to be suspect. You know, why don't we? I mean, I compare that to, and I was like that one time too, but now I'm starting to, you know, try to look at everything through the eyes and give the Most High glory in it all. You know, because we give the devil and we give the enemy too much daggone power. Either the Most High is in control or he is not. And I say he is. The words say he is.
I agree. And we're going to get back into some more of this. We in chapter 13. So, hold on one second. All right. We're in chapter 13. Verse 1, it says, And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast. It is mine, the firstborn of everything, man and beast. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Out from Egypt, out from the house of bondage. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten, All right, so a lot of people have a problem with Deuteronomy 28 when we say Egypt. In that verse, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 is talking about modern Egypt. And it's letting you know what Egypt is out of the house of bondage. And he said, by the way, whereof I speak, ye shall see it no more again. But you got to remember, some of the Israelites, some of the Jews did end up going back into Egypt, ancient Egypt, particularly during the time of the Greek rulership. So he wasn't talking about that Egypt when he said, I'm going to bring you into Egypt again with ships. He said, I'm going to bring you into bondage again with ships, because that's what Egypt represent. It says, this day came ye out in the month of Abib, and it shall be when Yahweh shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites. And I think this is what this say in the KJV, Brother Yash. I'll pull it up real quick. Read out the
Yeah, it should say the parasites. I'm looking now. I had the mic off.
Okay. That's
the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Hivites. Oh, it says, and it should be when Yahuwah shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Hivites or Hivites and the Jebusites.
So that's the Hivites.
Yeah.
Hivites and the Jebusites and the Amorites and the Hittites. Man, they was deep. Them ites.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be when Yahweh shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to Yahweh. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, this is done because of that which Yahweh did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee and upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that Yahweh's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath Yahweh brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year. And it shall be when Yahweh shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto Yahweh all that openeth the womb, and every firstling that cometh of the breast which thou hast, of the beast which thou hast, the males shall be Yahweh's. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck, and all the firstborn of man among thy children shalt thou redeem. And it shall be when thy son ask thee in time to come, saying, what is this that thou shalt say unto him? By strength of hand Yahweh brought us out of Egypt from the house of bondage. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that Yahweh slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I sacrifice to Yahweh all that openeth the womb, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for the frontlets between thine eyes. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Elohim led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For Elohim said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. But Elohim led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. It says, and Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Sukkot and encamped in Etham in the edge of the wilderness. And Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of cloud and led them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi Keroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal Zephon. Before it ye shall encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness hath shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am Yahweh. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let the children of Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariots and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand, but the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them, encamping by the sea, beside Pi Haroth, before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto Yahweh, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. That's kind of profound and messed up at the same time. is really something else. I can't say it, but it is what it is. But hey, we know what we're dealing with. It says, and Moses said unto the people, fear not, and stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. Notice the context in which salvation is being used. The people are in danger, and the Most High is getting ready to bring salvation and deliverance. It says, Yahweh shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And Yahweh said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. Every time I read about this rod, now I think about what you brought out the other day in that Jasher 68, I believe it was. Jasher chapter 68. It says, and I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh. And when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh and upon his chariots and upon his horsemen, and the angel of Elohim, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of Israel of Egypt and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them. But it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. Wow. Ain't that something? Said, and Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them in the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch, Yahweh looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians. Wow. So that same pillar that was set up in front of them, he said he moved it behind them, and it became a divide between the Egyptians and the Israelites. But on the side of the Israelites, it was a cloud, and on the side of the Egyptians, it was fire. Now it's saying that in the morning watch, Yahweh looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians. So imagine that. I don't know exactly what that means, but just imagine that, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel. For Yahuwah fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. He said, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and Yahuwah overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus Yahuwah saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which Yahuwah did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared Yahuwah and believed Yahuwah and his servant Moses. I think that's where I'm going to stop tonight. So once the Most High brought our people out into the wilderness, he took them a certain way just because he knew Pharaoh's heart would be hardened again and try to come up against them to bring them back. Because they say, man, why did we let them go from serving us? You know, that's your wealth. That was Egypt's wealth then, and it was this nation's wealth today. You know, it didn't say they was paying them in Egypt. And if they was afflicting them and putting that much servitude on them, you know they wasn't paying them. And if they were, they wasn't paying them much of anything, not what they, deserved. But the Most High took them in that direction because he knew Pharaoh was going to come after them. So once again, he used his people to bait Pharaoh in just so, he could judge Pharaoh, because these were our enemies. These people hated our people. It said they abominated the children of Israel. So once again, this is an example of the Most High fighting on our behalf. This is what we hoping for in our time. What you think, bro? Brother Yash, you there? Brother Yash might be asleep. I can see your mic on. You there, bro? If you're talking, we can't hear you. But it's okay. We in chapter 15 right now. Exodus chapter 15. That's where we're gonna pick it up with the Most High splitting the Red Sea and allowing our people to cross over. So now they can go into the wilderness, and now he's going to start teaching them about his laws and his holy days and how to build up the tabernacle and all these different things. dividing the land up, establishing the priest, all that good stuff. So just to kind of get a glimpse of what's going to happen when the Most High bring us out this time and bring us into the wilderness. It said he's going to bring us into the wilderness of the people. So a lot to look into, a lot to learn, so I don't know if Brother Yash, you there, bro? I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this. I want to see if he has some closing remarks. He said he having mic problems. Okay. Well, it's cool, bro. I just want to thank everybody for chiming in tonight. This is part 3. We're going to come back with part 4 and picking up at chapter 15, where it talks about the Song of Moses. They started to sing a song to the Most High. So we see our people had a lot to rejoice about and be grateful, even though we saw they showed some unbelief, when things started to get drastic. They started to say, well, we told you it was better for us to serve the Egyptians. Said it was better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. So we see why the Most High destroyed that particular generation, because he said they had no faith. Faith is it's not an easy concept, you know what I mean? Especially when your faith is being tried. But it's a worthy concept. It's one that's worth holding on to, keeping our faith in the word of the Most High. But I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Father, to his Son, and to his Holy Spirit. Part 4, like I said, we're going to pick it up in chapter 15. So shalom and blessings to you, brothers and sisters. Y'all have a good night. Shalom.